has the record thing, and then it has to record your computer. Anyway, welcome to the after show. I know we haven't done one in a minute, but fuck you. We all tired. It's been a crazy 2020, man.
Great start, man. Great start.
Hey, shut up. It was funny. I haven't been getting horrible sleep since the whole time changeover.
That's because you're taking melatonin.
So I was taking this after that. I wasn't taking it before then.
So we were pretty much talking about how I want Tez to be on my podcast, Black Girl Marvel, and talk about Mulan, and he don't wanna.
He don't even understand what the Szechuan dipping sauce is about.
You feel me?
Whoa. We're not gonna do that. You
don't even know. You don't even know what it's about. That's that's an us thing, man. You don't understand. You ain't initiated. You ain't Swifty.
I'm very Swifty. Shit on the floor.
Listen, I love that he just made up stuff. He just making up words. He was just like, I was just saying.
Because that's how most niggas is. Just like, fuck it, make it words.
That song was fire. Like, that's a fire song.
I have an iPhone now, so yes, I don't have ringtones. I have the same ringtones as everybody else. And when I go out and somebody's phone rings, I think it's my phone. One of my last ringtones I had when I had my Samsung was Get Swifty. I had that shit as a ringtone. That was Kevin, my best friend. That was his ringtone. I'm like, I gotta listen to that shit. Like, that song was stuck in my head.
Can you not put ringers on iPhones? Like, I don't know how to use mine yet.
You can. It's just you have to do a little bit of work. You gotta download.
You got that new one though, right?
It takes probably about 8 minutes to do it, but I just don't want to do it.
Sounds like a really long time because I have Archer, I have Mulatto Butts. I had it as my ringer, and I just want it back.
Mulatto.
Yeah. If you don't watch Archer, you don't get it. If you don't watch Archer, you don't get it.
Yeah. That's Archer's ringtone. Well, that's like everybody's ringtone. That's why in Archer.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. Like the song is really funny. Look it up. It's called Mulatto Butts.
Where are you at in Archer? Are you up to date yet?
No, I ain't watching all that shit.
No. Watch up to season 6. Skip the whole Coma series, and then start back up at season 11.
Which one is 6?
That's when they go. Wait. 6 is the last season they do the regular format. Starting at 7, that's when 7 is where they go out to California, and at the end, that's when he gets shot. 8 is Dreamland. 9 is Danger Island. 10 is 1999. I hated Dreamland. I watched only 2 episodes of each one of them. I like the season premiere and the episode after, and I'm like, nah, y'all lost it. 2099, I think I watched like 3 episodes. I'm like, okay.
I like the
season
first
11 is
3
good
or 4.
because it's back to form, but first 4
you guys need to watch Archer. It is very funny.
Honestly, no, you know what I'm talking about. When they do an Archer Vice, and then the episode where they're talking about the metric system, that is some of the funniest back and forth banter I've ever heard. Arguing for the metric system, that shit is gold.
The metric system, which part?
Well, remember it was okay. Well,
they're always talking about the metric system, though.
Because like they have 100. I think they have 100 tons of cocaine, and then they start breaking it down of how much it would be, and they're like, "Well, how many pounds is that?" They're not pounds, I'm talking dollars. No, I mean pounds sterling. What?
Yeah.
That back and forth, that shit had me dying.
Yes.
I think my America is showing because I'm like metric system.
Yeah, that's the funny thing about it. They may actually bring up a good fact. The only 2 countries that don't use the metric system are us and Liberia.
Exactly. So I'm like,
and one of the lines is, really? I didn't really think they had their shit together like that.
Seriously, both you and Tez, like y'all.
I've seen Archer to a degree. I just haven't watched it recently.
The first 3 seasons are hilarious.
Oh, they are.
The first 3 seasons are hilarious.
It took me a while to get into it.
I tried. To me, it's not the same as Game of Thrones, but emotionally wise, it was the same as Game of Thrones to me. I cut it on and I was like, oh.
So
And
so
just, like,
the first season of Archer doesn't look anything like the rest of the seasons of Archer, and it kind of throws me off. Like the animation throws me off on that one.
Yeah.
But you sort of need the first season to understand the dynamic of everybody.
I'll try again because I like the lead guy because he's on Bob's Burgers, and I like Aisha Tyler. So I will. I see because I know who's in it. Like I know who's in it. Okay, you get me right. But I'll try again because I think it's on Netflix, right? I think it's on Netflix and I can watch it or something.
Yeah, I'll say no, it's on Hulu. I'll say this. It took me. I had it on the background, and I'm like, okay, I laughed. And I'm like, I don't get what everybody talks about it. Mm-hmm. It's an episode in season 2. They're on a blimp. That if you don't even want to start with the first season, just start with that episode where they're on a blimp from beginning to end.
Season 2, episode 2, or season 2, episode 1. Either one of those. Beautiful episodes.
Y'all already know I'm like continuity queen. If I can't, I gotta start from the beginning.
Then start from the beginning.
But once it gets there, honestly, that is probably my favorite episode because literally from beginning to end, it is hilarious.
Hilarious. That's a funny ass episode.
You know what I'll do? I'll start it tonight.
I think you'll like it.
You'll like it because it's smart. It's smart and it's funny.
It's smart, and then after a while, you catch the jokes at the same time the characters do. That's what plays off. Because somebody say something, and you'll be saying the same thing to the character. Like, what do you mean? Or you'll say the same callbacks. It's tight.
So I have something, and I hope everyone here has seen at least the second episode of season 2 of Mandalorian.
Nope.
You haven't?
She stopped me so quick.
I'm binging 3 episodes.
I was over my little brother's house, and he started. I was like, "Yo, you watched The Mandalorian?" And he looked at me like I should be disgusted in myself because I didn't know. I was like, "Yo, you watched The Mandalorian?" He was like, I was like, "Forgive me," and he about to go to episode 2. I was like, "No, go back to episode 1 because I ain't seen it yet. So if you gonna watch it and I'm here, we watched all the episodes. So I'm like caught up on."
I will say this, and I'm not gonna spoil it. There's a moment in episode.
The fact that you're saying this means you're going to spoil it.
Nope. Where
you have to start off saying it's not going to be a spoiler means you're going to spoil something. So because half the people on the show haven't seen it yet, just wait.
Oh, cool.
Just wait.
She irritated.
Archer for 15 fucking minutes. I'll just say black. I understand black. But no, like I don't know how the fuck they keep making this show work. I don't, because every week I'm like,
but they do though.
Favreau, man, the dude is.
I think he wrote and directed the first episode, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
the first episode was the episode that made me hate everything. The second episode makes me hate I was screaming at my TV in the second episode, like
I low-key want to talk to you because I want to know what
he gets Star Wars. Like he understands, and that's the funny thing. He's doing this good a job with a proliferatory character. Like not even a real character because the Mandalorian's never been around it. It's not like Boba Fett.
But
this is another character. But just imagine what he could have done had they gave him a Star Wars film instead of giving him Jungle Book.
But one of the reasons I brought that up is because
giving him what?
Jungle Book.
Yeah.
That was a good movie. I don't care what nobody said.
But one of the reasons I brought that up is because of this.
Nobody said it was a good movie.
There's this belief that the child was born around the exact same time as Anakin. So the belief is that Star Wars is basically one big fucked up goof because they picked the wrong child. Like, imagine what happened had they not picked Anakin and they picked the child instead.
I wouldn't have watched that movie.
Anakin, the Last Jedi.
You know what?
His hatred for this movie, like I don't get it.
Did not.
I don't get what.
And once again, with this empty bottle, saying nothing.
I don't get why he hates. I don't get why he hates strong female leads. But you know, it is what it is. I
love
That's exactly what you do.
I love the twist.
Don't do that. I love a strong female character. I love a strong female character.
It seems like strong female or strong black female leads you don't like.
Challenge.
Name one.
Well, let's see. You hated you hate Daisy Ridley in Star Wars. You gave Journey Smollett Bell shit for Birds of Prey. Did he not?
I would implore everyone to go back to our Birds of Prey episode and partake in it to see if Tezla is telling the truth.
Right, which I am. Like we all got on you about that. Like,
got the rope. Put your hand. And you just reaching. You just reaching with that one.
So now you're Donald Trump and you're doing hand
Daisy Ridley did a good job. The character of Rey was poorly written. That's just fundamentally what, as a character, she was. Han Solo as a character is a great character.
As we all know.
Leia as a character is a great character.
Listen here, the fact that George Lucas was going to make her the chosen one blows my mind.
But here's the part that I love. I
wanted it to happen.
Here's the part that I love.
Who would have thought that you would have rather seen George Lucas control more of the Star Wars franchise after what he did with the prequels?
So
that's crazy.
Here's the part that I love shit on the older Star Wars fans. Everyone who's an older Star Wars fan I've seen wants to call Rey and Mary Sue. Are we smooth as fuck forgetting that Luke hit the hardest game-winning shot ever in the first Star Wars movie where he was an untrained pilot in this rebel base. It was the only thing that was shown. Like, yeah, we're gonna choose you.
He wasn't that untrained. He wasn't that untrained. He was always hitting Womp Rats when he was driving his T-16. So it's not like he had
hitting a Womp Rat. Hitting a Womp Rat. Shooting the smallest hole in a fucking Imperial destroyer.
What did he do when he shot it? He used the Force. That's what you were supposed to do.
So hold on. It's okay. So hold on. It's okay for a man to use the Force, but a woman can't. I mean, go ahead.
No problem.
I mean, because
you can use the Force. But
I'm a fan of the.
What's that? You can use the Force to guide a missile to go down a small 2mm hole. Mm-hmm. That's one thing. But to then use the Force after only a few hours, maybe a day or two, maybe a long weekend, and you're lifting hundreds of thousands of pounds of rocks and the Millennium fucking Falcon like it's nothing. That's not.
He didn't lift the Millennium Falcon. What are you talking about?
Falcon.
What are you talking about? The Millennium Falcon was sitting down.
All she did was lift rocks.
Right. Same fucking difference. I don't care. It's
That's not the same fucking difference. That's the whole different thing.
She's a badly written character. That's what Myra says. She's a badly written character.
Yeah,
I think there were things that were introduced about her. I'm not saying she's the worst character in the history of fandom.
I'm just saying though, and I get exactly what you're saying because I'm not gonna get in a tangent again about these characters, but I get what you're saying that how they wrote her, because a lot of her background, all that kind of stuff, they retconned it by the last film, and they changed some stuff. But if we're going from The Force Awakens to Jedi, it makes absolute sense that she can lift rocks like that. It makes absolute sense, because if you go back to if that's the case, then Luke shouldn't have been able to defeat his father or any of that stuff in that short of time.
Luke actually did have training in the first film. He had some training with Obi-Wan.
But so did she.
She did. Luke, she had no training in The Force Awakens. Had some training in The Last Jedi. At the end of The Last Jedi, she was lifting all the rocks.
Whoa. We're not doing that.
No, she had training.
She was living by herself on an abandoned planet, scavenging Imperial ships. That nigga was living in a comfortable house in the middle of the desert. Miss me with all that shit. Miss me with that shit. Oh, she don't have any training. She's been living by herself with a bow staff. She was scavenging ships.
And technically, I'll say this out loud. If you put Force Awakens Rey and I forget
A New Hope's Luke.
Yeah, there you go. A New Hope's Luke into a fight, Rey will win. She's stronger than him. She's more quick-witted than him. to me, that still translate into like a physical body with the Force. To me, it translates to something different. She wasn't over here like flipping systems and all this other kind of stuff, but for her to be able to, the training that she did receive, mind you, she was getting training throughout the Force Awakens, and then she was getting training in The Last Jedi. And the strongest thing we honestly saw her do was lift rocks. It makes sense. It makes sense.
Not to mention, she stopped an Imperial ship from leaving by using the Force. So just imagine how much.
What Imperial ship did she? Whoa! What
That's the third one.
When you thought Chewbacca died, when they're trying to get away, she's stopping the ship from moving by using.
That's the third one.
Yeah, but
that's the third one, and that's after. That's the third one. That's the third one after we saw her get training for months from Leia, and she was under distress at that time, and
reading the Jedi books,
and didn't even know that she had that ability. That was just like I totally agree, but a lot of the things that happened wasn't just like, it'd be a different story if she just all of a sudden had lightning in the Force Awakens. It's like, okay, where did this come from?
Or just use the Jedi mind trick out of nowhere, and the fact that she had no idea how to use it, right?
She didn't use it out of nowhere. She literally saw somebody use it. I understand that you don't like the movies, and it's okay to not.
Where did somebody use that in the Force Awakens before she did?
I gotta go back and watch it.
Nobody did.
She did see somebody do it.
I have to go back and watch it.
She did the exact same thing they did.
Exactly. I have to go back and watch it.
Yeah, I do remember that. I don't remember who it was or what happened.
What Jedi was there? What Jedi was she able to see?
Wait, hold on, whoa! Because I'll end that right there. Why does it be a Jedi? Because when was the Jedi mind trick automatically only for Jedis? We call it the Jedi mind trick, but it doesn't mean that only Jedis do it.
In the Force Awakens.
I'm saying I gotta go back and watch it. I gotta go back and watch it, but I'll come back.
Say it again.
What's Sith then? If you said no Jedi did,
Kylo.
What's Sith use?
Kylo does it.
When does she see it?
Kylo does it when he walks to the room. Kylo does it before then. He also used the Force on her.
We infer that. When did she ever see him do that?
Kylo literally uses it on her, but to take her. So again, what are you talking about?
I gotta rewatch it, but she's seen it.
According to you, the Force is a certain set of rules that you can and cannot do. Because it's not a magical.
If you tell me that there are certain set of rules to use something,
okay. You watch all the Star Wars movies. When have there ever been a set of rules written down saying what the Force can and cannot do?
The Jedi books.
Again, there's no. I have the Jedi books. Where are they? Where it say what the Force can and cannot do?
George Lucas showed you the rules of the Force when he showed you what.
George Lucas never showed you the rules of the Force, because you want to know why? Because George Lucas never. First off, George Lucas never said what the Force can and cannot do. Secondly, he helped write the entire sequel trilogy. Everything they did in Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and Rise of Skywalker, that's all part of him. So if you want to get mad at anybody, get mad at George.
Fair enough to give it that type of emotion.
So you don't want that you're wrong. You don't want that you're wrong. It's cool. I get it.
What am I wrong about?
You don't like female characters. That's cool.
Ray is not a very well written character.
It's just
but by that standpoint, so is Luke. Luke's a poorly written character.
So is Luke. So is Tony. So is Bruce Wayne. Every character has flaws, but when you actually look at that franchise for that third trilogy, Ray is not a very well written character.
You're only saying Ray's the only one that's not poorly written, and no one else is.
She's the star of the sequel. She's the star of the third trilogy. She's the star. She's the last Skywalker. She is the main character of this thing. She is the narrative plot device that flows everything.
She's the vehicle.
She is the narrative vehicle for everything.
She
has the most screen time. She has the most lines of anybody in this trilogy.
Actually, she doesn't have the most screen time
because Finn got played.
Actually, she doesn't have the most screen time.
Technically, Finn's character was so good.
Finn and Poe have equal screen time as her. If you break down actual screen time,
I'm glad for them. As a person of color, I'm glad about that. But still, Ray is a shitty written character in my opinion. I think the way you set it up in The Force Awakens, what is the first scene about? First scene is involving Finn. His character is what starts everything. And then you pivot and put everything on Rey, and then it just becomes the Rey show.
That's because
the second and third movies, you didn't really need him for anything.
So wait. So that means wait. So you had no issue when they did that in A New Hope when they begin with Leia and switch right the fuck over to Luke then, right?
I didn't have a problem with it because it was 11 years before I was born.
I'm just saying it seems as if you have a problem with them switching over from a male character to a female character.
He's so irritated.
I mean, every point you're making is leading to that. Hey, go ahead. Prove me wrong.
Whenever you wear that shirt, in my head I always go PlayStation. And I can't help it doesn't matter if whenever I see this shirt, I say it multiple times in my head and I don't say it out loud.
That and especially that logo, that is a good part of my childhood.
That's iconic.
Seeing that's me playing Siphon Filter.
I keep hearing
that's me having a good moment.
That Sony is going to buy Konami. And that is terrifying.
I'm not a big Konami fan.
Well, that's the thing. So there's two real big things. Yeah, Lil's rating.
You smoked more though.
I don't know what you talking about.
So yes, she did, audience. But there is rumor saying that both Microsoft and Sony are looking at either buying Warner Brothers games or Konami. So we'll see what happens there. It will be more
Warner Brothers.
It'd be more profitable it would be game over if Sony bought Warner Brothers out, because for PS5 to have both Injustice and Mortal Kombat and Microsoft doesn't, that kind of kills any traction of Microsoft getting any system sold. Well, then again, might not, because people are using their Xboxes as vapes. So
you so irritating, refrigerators, all that jazz.
I thought that was an actual joke until I saw the video for it.
Can I tell y'all one of my dreams real quick?
Please do. We're amongst friends.
Okay, so one of my dreams, or one of my goals / dreams, is to, as a writer director, is to, in the vein of how James Cameron created Avatar, I want to create a live action Bleach film like that, so that I can cast really good actors to play these roles and then just CGI the people over their faces. So
wait. Say that one more time.
I want to create a live action Bleach film, but I want to do it the same way James Cameron did Avatar, so that I can put very talented actors in the roles and then just CGI their the real characters over their faces.
Why?
Because
that's a lot, but I can see that.
I want to do it so bad.
I can see it.
I want to do it so bad because I feel like I won't find anybody that looks like the characters. I won't find anybody in those veins that'll be perfect enough for me. So might as well just CGI a little character over here. You feel me?
So let me ask you this: how far is the first movie gonna go?
I haven't gotten there yet.
Because there's a lot of Bleach.
No, there's a lot of Bleach. Because I mean, for me, it's it's season to season. So I feel like the first film would have to go to the duplicitousness of Aizen, and then it'll stop there.
You want to cover all that in one movie?
You could cut out a lot of that stuff. You could just focus on Ichigo when he becomes a substitute Soul Reaper, that journey. You can bring in Aizen and his people, and then you can start stuff can start going down the tubes. Yeah,
let's talk later, because I'm gonna let the anime community they would not want that.
They would.
Maybe that's the episode of your show with the guest Tezla talking about anime with your boy Tezla.
Talk about Bleach, a little movie. I want to know what's wrong with that. There's nothing in between that they need to know, really, for the most part.
I beg to differ.
Like what? I mean, you always beg to differ, but like what?
But let's say for the episode.
Oh, that's the episode you want to do? Oh, he's intrigued now.
He's intrigued. He's invited himself onto the episode.
I'm gonna put that on my board. I'm putting that on my board. Hold up. Put that on my board.
Are you talking to when Eisen openly announces that he's the betrayer, or the end of Eisen?
No, when he announces that he's a betrayer. And then you find out that the lieutenants of the other guards are like is a part of that too. Like it ends right when you figure out that he's a betrayer, and you're like, and they go. I believe they go to like the Hueco Mundo or something like that, and they leave, and like it ends there. See, he wants to be like he flipped to my side, but he don't want to admit that he flipped to my side. But it's
no, okay, and we know Kayos will take himself out because he doesn't watch anime.
Yeah, but unlike some people, I'm not going to be really disrespectful and just completely out of the conversation. I'm at least add some stuff. Okay.
Are you though?
Hey Lou, catch the. Hey Lou, since they were doing other stuff here, I'm gonna throw the ball to you. You can catch it since they were doing the shit to us.
I'm okay. With
wanna be Star-Lord?
You guys having fun. You guys is great. That's sad. That was sad. Poor Star-Lord. He had to kill his daddy. Because his daddy killed his mama.
I still don't forgive him.
For killing his father?
Forgive who? Ego?
No, for them fucking up the Infinity Gauntlet.
Oh my God.
If it wasn't for him doing that, Tony would still be alive.
If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have. Honestly, no. If it wasn't for him, everything would have died. Because out of the millions that he saw,
still his fault. I still blame Star-Lord.
We wouldn't have Endgame if it wasn't for Star-Lord. So I
still retweet those photos that I blame Star-Lord.
I'm so dead. Please,
I went through a breakup, and he was still the worst thing of 2018.
This is why certain people are
gatekeeper
generals, and certain people are commanders. Because Doctor Strange was like, "Look, dog, no matter what Star-Lord does, shit ain't gonna work the way you want niggas gonna work. Niggas would have died even worse." And then it would have been an even worse situation. So, I mean...
One thing I appreciate, too, is there's so much attention to detail in that film that I didn't even realize.
Right, so...
I really didn't...
Everyone blaming Star-Lord was like...
When he's doing this to Tony, you can still see his hand shaking from his injury.
Oh, I noticed that. I noticed that.
I was so caught up in the emotion of the scene. I'm like, fuck, I know.
The only time his hands don't shake is when he's using magic. That's the only time his hands don't shake. You could go back to Doctor Strange and see that, and I thought that was great because he even told him that like my man used magic to walk again. He did all kinds of stuff. So if he wanted to use magic for his hands not to shake, he can easily do that, but he chooses not to. I love it to death.
But one of my favorite ones is when he's fighting Thanos and he's just giving it to him. And Thanos, I think he uses the power gauntlet and knocks him back. And after he has Crimson Bands of Sidorak on him, and you see his soul fly out of his body. That is the best part. I had to explain that to someone. That's his soul. And they're like, really? I'm like, remember the movie? And they're like, oh shit. I'm like, he knocked the motherfucker's soul out of his body for a second.
When he did that, he used the reality stone and the soul stone at the same time to bend reality and also find out where Doctor Strange actually was in that moment and snatch him. And then use the space and reality stone to bring little bit like, get over here. And like that fight.
That's the only thing about Infinity War that always like for certain people that I know that they didn't like kind of like because they didn't understand some of the stuff. Like they didn't understand like
why they were
when
fighting.
He pulled the moon. No. Like when he pulled the moon, like that he was using 2 different stones to do that. So people were like, yo, like how was he doing that? And I'm like, I literally have to break down like what each stone is and how he can use them in conjunction. He can use them separately. He can use them together. And then I was like, pay attention to when he uses it. You see the colors when he uses it, so you know, like it was a thing.
But not just
I had to do that with the beginning, and when he beat Hawk up, and somebody's like, "Well, yeah, of course he had the stone." I'm like, Watch the film. Every time he uses a stone, you will see it glowing on the gauntlet. I'm like, he took out Hulk base strength. That was pure him beating the Hulk's ass.
Also another thing that people don't notice when they watch Infinity War or Endgame, every time he uses a stone, he physically strains to use it. And it depends on the combination. So like when he pulled the moon down, that hurt him more than anything else compared to when he used the reality stone, the soul stone, because those two stones match. When he used the moon, he had to do this by steps. He literally pointed at the moon, used the power stone to break it, then used the space stone to fling it. He didn't use it at the same time. He made sure it was a certain step to how to do it.
Like you saw the clip and you saw like the power go over it one by one.
Even when he fought Doctor Strange, he used the power stone to break the mirror dimension, which I still don't understand how the fuck that shit works.
That does not get talked about enough. The fact that he broke a dimension
and then used the space and the reality stone to create a black hole out of that broken dimension he just made. Or I
do want to say this though. Because a lot of people talk about that first scene with him and Hulk and him being like, well, he didn't use the power stone because his fist has to be clenched to know that he's about to use his power. But I will say this though. I want to know, you get a surge of power throughout your body with every infinity stone that you put in this gauntlet, right? So like he is a little juiced up.
Yeah.
Technically, if you think about it, he's not physically using the stone, but every stone, everything that's connected to him, you see it go up his arms. You see the color get into his system. That's essentially why Tony died, because he couldn't take all that power within.
It was the radiation.
It's gamma radiation.
But it's still power because the Hulk is pure gamma radiation. So he gets a little juice from that, a little bit.
Well, you gotta think about it this way. They set up Thanos having the stones in maybe, I want to say, 2 movies. Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy. They showed the reason as to why Thanos can control them. In Avengers, Tony openly asked Bruce, like, why about him being Hulk. He's like, I don't know why it was made. And Tony's like, maybe it's something you don't know yet. And they make that callback in Endgame. The second half of that is Star-Lord in the first Guardians movie, where he openly grabs the Power Stone and holds onto it. The only reason they win is because of his DNA. If he doesn't have the DNA to even hold on to it, even with the rest of the team helping him, it wouldn't have worked. So that's how
look what happened to the
I'm literally wait. I'm trying to figure out like Tez, your point in saying all this.
The reason I'm saying this is because they're gonna bring this up in Eternals, is that Thanos' race can hold the Infinity Stones to a certain degree. No one else can, and because of the 2 conditions you need to be able to contain a lot of gamma radiation, and you need to be able to, you have to have a certain blood type to control, because it's the blood type like almost like as old as time almost.
How, from what I said, how did you get on that narrative?
Of what?
By me just saying that he was, because all I was saying was that he was a little juiced up from the power, and that's why I think he did have a little bit of an edge.
I don't think he was juiced up. I don't think he was juiced up. I think he was. I think he was just enduring it. He wasn't juiced up whatsoever. Even when he fought against the Avengers or the Guardians or anything like that, when he didn't use the stones, he was basically beatable. It was only until he used them that he became an issue. Even when he was fighting against.
Well, to an extent, his base form is well enough to beat the Hulk.
Well,
and the fact that he has a healing factor. If you remember in Infinity War, Peter's death took the longest because his healing factor was trying to stop him from dying.
His Spidey sense was kept trying to.
His Spidey sense let him know what was going to happen. But if you watch it, his healing factor is actually activating as he's starting to turn to dust, because he'll start to turn to dust and he'll stop. He doesn't fully start until he's on his back. So his healing factor is working. Thanos' healing factor is probably equal to close to being the Hulk. So therefore, that's how he can take those Infinity Gauntlets and still not really, even though having one gauntlet should technically kill you, like it should have been the Star-Lord.
I mean, and then on top of that too, it still messed his arm up though.
It racked his arm. But that's the thing.
His arm looked like old girl from LCC.
That's a Lovecraft Country reference.
Yeah, like LCC.
That's the thing. You gotta remember, like, when we see him in Infinity War and we see him in Endgame, those are two different Thanoses.
Yeah.
If you don't get that reference, you should be watching the original version of this podcast.
Right. So when you take into account, the Thanos that was in Infinity War I won't say a lot older, but he was an older version of Thanos. The Thanos that was in Endgame was more of a battle-hardened Thanos. So he wasn't. We don't really see him use the stones whatsoever in the movie whatsoever. So the fact that he was fighting up against a worn down Iron Man, a worn down Cap, and I hate saying this, a disabled Thor to a certain degree, he was a little more. He was going to win that fight regardless. He was going to beat all of them just because they weren't.
Not even that. He beat them because this Thanos was a warrior. The Thanos that we get is like when you retire after you went to war or something like that. You still got the mind frame of a warrior, but you're a little bit more mature now. You're like, we're going to go about this in a different way. The Thanos that we got originally went about it in a different way, and this one was like. This one came back. They showed you who he was when they went to 2014, when he came out of the portal, wiping his sword down from like of blood. You knew that was a different Thanos.
And that's the thing. When you go back and you look at the Thanos from the Endgame to Infinity War's Thanos did not want battles to last long. He did not want to knock out, drag out fights. Even as Iron Man. He didn't want that. He didn't want that smoke. If Iron Man had kept going, Iron Man probably would have killed him. In Endgame, he was all about the fight. He was the first man in the action. He like when they had that big run up, he's one of the first people literally running toward the fight. So I would surmise if this is I've said this to Zero. If the Avengers from Endgame were the same Avengers that were in Infinity War, they probably would have beat Thanos. But
here's the thing about it: it's already canon that they would have beat Thanos if they were together. They weren't. Yeah. They weren't together.
If it's not for Zemo, they beat him.
Yeah, they beat him. But the thing about it is, if you go from Endgames, Infinity Wars. Avengers are a broken team, right? Whereas in Endgame, they take that brokenness and try to get back together and make something of it. It's only when they come together, and even then, they were together, and it took like the last quarter for them to pull it together. Like it took for them to be together.
Now I think about that. I don't necessarily know if that was right.
What?
Because we always say if Civil War doesn't happen, they're obviously together, and they can. But if Civil War doesn't happen, technically you don't have Black Panther because there would have been no reason.
You would still have him.
No, think about it. The main culprit of Civil War is when Wanda. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but Wanda is Zemo. But if Zemo doesn't
blow up the United Nations,
then it doesn't happen. Then you don't have. You don't get Black Panther because there's literally technically no reason to have a Black Panther because T'Chaka is still technically the Black Panther.
Yeah, and he would have went home. He would have went back to Wakanda and not even worried about what was happening over here.
And exactly, think about it. They didn't let a lot of shit happen outside that they was like, hey, that's their problem.
No. I believe
you don't have him and you don't have the tech. So that's a big.
Okay.
You don't
have Black Panther.
But I think it's a thing though. Because what we're saying Avengers. If the Avengers weren't together, and at this point, Black Panther is not an Avenger. At this point, any of those people that we see at the end,
you also don't have Spidey too.
Technically, are not Avengers because they don't get christened as Avengers until Spidey don't get christened until Infinity War. And the rest of them don't get christened until they come through the portals and come back and he yells out Avengers. To me, everybody getting christened. So right now, the Avengers are the core ones. I think that they're talking about.
Minus Thor and Hulk because they weren't there.
Well, that's where it gets interesting. That's where it gets interesting.
Yeah.
But Thor and Hulk would eventually have been there.
Because
Civil War doesn't even
would have all been there.
Civil War doesn't bother them. Like Civil War, that doesn't bother. But they would have technically they would have been there.
The team would have been broken up, but they still would have won.
Yeah.
But that's the thing I wanted to bring up as well, because I thought about this while we were talking about Endgame. For Wanda, that line that she says when she runs into Thanos always sticks with me, and it confused me to no end. When she says, "You took everything from me."
We get it. It's not the same Thanos, but she don't care.
No. That's not what I mean. What I mean is like, and this is just me thinking ahead. Yeah. What if WandaVision happened while she was gone in a snap?
Nah.
I'm just as a curveball, like
because
the line didn't make sense. The line didn't make sense to me. Like
the line does make sense. He took everything from her.
But he only took Vision. He didn't take anything else.
Vision was everything.
When
Think
you
about it.
That one person in your life that means everything.
I can see that.
Especially after her brother died, she probably thought like, all right, I'm just gonna be with these people. I'm not gonna worry about nothing else. And then you find somebody that like out of the blue that loves you and tries to protect you and try to take care of you. And then y'all got to a place where y'all was gonna like, let's drop all this nonsense and be together and live this life and probably have a family. And he killed him like
twice
technically. She had to kill him once,
and
then he reversed time, and then he killed, like, so he technically took everything from her. He took her present and her future. He took her present and her future.
He let her do the hardest thing she would ever have to do in her life, gloated to her about what she did, then reversed time and in front of her killed him.
Yep. Took everything.
Like I've seen a bunch of different, like a bunch of crazy theories. Like when Thanos says to Stark, "You're not the only one cursed with knowledge." Everyone somehow believes that Thanos sent his mind back to before he got the stones to let his former self know of who Stark was and all that, because they had never had any interaction.
No, I think the moment that in Avengers when he blew up the Chitauri ship or whatever and shut all that down, because that's from Thanos. Shut everything down. I think that's when Thanos was like, "Yo, I need to know what's going on Earth. I need to know who these people are."
They underestimated them. You don't know anything. All he has to worry about is Asgardians, and then now you have some. I mean, look, that's literally like getting ready to go to war, and you find out the pizza guy put in a virus that completely knocked out all your systems. Like, how the hell did he know how to do some shit like that? He was not expecting Earthlings.
No, because think about it. Even at the end of that movie, his second in command, I don't know, the other dude or whatever. The other, he's like,
he's called the other.
He's called the other. He's like, so he's like, he tells him like, "Yo, like they're ready for war," and Thanos is like, "For real? They ready?" So I think from there, he's been trying to gain knowledge on these people that he thought was so minuscule.
He's in general. You ain't gonna take out my whole army and me not know who you are.
Exactly. So I think that's
1/3 of my army.
Because, and honestly, that theory is crazy because the movie shows you how he figured out what happened. Like that's a weird theory.
That's some Screen Rant type shit right there.
Yeah, like that's such a weird theory to come up with.
And by the way, real quick, you know that the other in Avengers, you know that's Wesley from.
That's Alexis Denisof. Yeah, I know. Mm-hmm. I was like, you son of a. I said, that's why you need to. That's why you need to know. That's why you need to know Josh Whedon. That's why you need to know Josh Whedon. He'll just put you with some stuff. Like
I saw, like it's been a bunch of theories that's been going online. Like, and one got disproven because of what happened with that horrible show that was the Inhumans. That somehow the mutants are hiding now on the blue area of the moon.
When I saw her red hair, I was like, I'm out.
Yeah.
You know that hurts me too because I'm a fan of hers because she was on TV show Ballers and we're actually birthday twins.
Oh.
So she said something on my birthday, but I'm like, that show was bad.
LeBron James, my birthday twin, he don't be saying nothing to me when I say what's up.
That show.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, you actually have the same as my little sister, LeBron James and Tiger Woods.
And Tyrese.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Lana Lang. Kristen Cruick. Her birthday the same day as her birthday.
But
swear, I didn't know that.
That theory kind of kills the idea of the X-Men being on the moon. It'd be dope as fuck as that's what they've been the entire time. Like, yeah, the X-Men have been on the moon just hiding the fuck out.
The thing is,
they don't seem like a group that hides. Like, I don't.
Exactly. They got too much infighting between their own damn selves to hide.
That's why I know that WandaVision brings these people into our universe.
The only reason
that's why I know it, because all this stuff takes place in the same state. Everything happens in New York, and you telling me that a big old ship come down in New York, and that the X-Men is like, we're gonna hop to the moon real quick, let these Avengers handle it.
What I mean by that is,
even in Ant-Man they were talking about Spider-Man.
Right.
So everybody knows everybody.
What I mean by that is the fact that Feige is now fully running Marvel, and he is putting way too much attention on the X-Men series. And the X-Men right now are pretty much their own diplomatic state. They don't really fuck with anybody, really. Like, they're like, look, we want our own shit. Leave us the fuck alone. We'll give you this in return. And no one fucking listens to them. I could see Feige doing something like that where he's like, yeah, the X-Men have been on the moon this entire time, hiding the fuck out based on what they know is going to happen in the future. Well, with the main council, like of Charles, Magneto, and Moore McTaggart. I can see them doing something like that, but like, yeah, they've been hiding out, waiting for shit to calm the fuck down. Then they're gonna come.
I honestly don't think
they're a group of fighters. I don't think they hide out.
And that's the thing that hurts their story. Their story
and if Feige does that,
dealing against society, they have to be out there in the open because their allegory for racism doesn't work then.
But that's the thing. Do you need, as many times as we've seen X-Men over the years, do we need to keep going back to the race card?
That's what I mean. Honestly, that's what they're born.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I think I trust Feige with the X-Men, but I don't think we need to go back to that in order to make the X-Men work. Like, I don't like, for example, Magneto. He's the one character I'm concerned with the most because you don't really need to do Auschwitz anymore as part of his backstory. Sure, that's part of his original backstory, but that's so
far. For me, I'll put this on Aftershow wax. For me, it only makes sense that they come in from an alternate universe where they are already established as X-Men and already established as Fantastic Four. Like they have to already be established. And I mean, you can easily probably make the Fantastic Four come in.
I think the Fantastic Four plays. I think the best way for the Fantastic Four is they went up to space during that 5 years. Like they didn't know what happened because the Avengers didn't come out and tell everybody. So everybody else thought it was the damn rapture. You know, the Avengers didn't put out a press release. Hey, by the way, this purple guy, he killed everybody.
Then I would ask you again, where were they in Endgame? That's why I'm saying that. Like, it's just
my thing is all right. If I'm booking this really quick, they go up there and during the 5 years, Reed Richards wants to find out what the hell happened. He gets his group together, which is a bunch of nepotism because it's his girlfriend, her brother, and his best friend. But okay,
I'm dead.
Okay, nepotism much. They go up to space. They get trapped in the negative zone.
Okay,
I can see that, but I can also
all the energy is released. That's the negative zone. The negative zone. He knows of the negative zone. Kind of thinks he can find it when that second snap, or they're up there, already.
The negative zone.
I could also see them doing something along the lines of involving them in Ant-Man 3. No. I don't know how, but I think something involving the microverse and the power coming from that could be.
He needs a minute.
Yeah, I see.
From what I said, but like I said, it makes
they even hinted at the Fantastic Four and Far From Home. Like at the end of the movie, they hint at them being somewhat in the.
You know what? I actually think that they were playing with us with that one. That one's too on the nose.
They showed the building that looked like the Baxter
building? No, not that part.
Right when Peter is
swinging down.
Right before he lets MJ down, you see a sign that says "Coming Soon." 1, 2, 3.
And the 3 is in green, and the only color that's missing out of that number is a blue 4.
I'm like, that's
covered up.
But wouldn't the 4 be invisible?
Huh?
Wouldn't the invisible? So you wouldn't see
that's the
4.
thing.
So just saying the 1, 2, 3.
I personally believe, I'll end off on this. I believe that the building that was the Avenger Tower is either one or two things. Either it's gonna be the Baxter Building, or it's gonna be Oscorp.
But I mean, I agree to the certain point that the Fantastic Four can take place like within those 5 years, where when we see another movie, they have just come back and they are now these characters, and we're seeing them grow as, because we don't need an origin story with them. We already know that they get these abilities. I think that's the best way you can avoid that. Like you can avoid that. You can avoid that by making it seem like they came back from this mission different, and now now this stuff is kicking in or something like that, and it's happening now. For me, X-Men have to be on a different universe, or has to bring
there's too much history, and you cannot retell those same stories over again. They know for a fact you can never do the Phoenix Saga.
Ever. No. You gotta give me 20, 25 years. You gotta give me like 20 years.
Never touch that. But that's the thing. You don't have to tell that original story, because look, we knew of it from the cartoon. You knew of it before that for the comics. You know of that because of the movies. Skip ahead. Like honestly, you didn't show us Uncle Ben. You didn't show us Uncle Ben dying, because we know that story. Skip ahead.
Plus, you gave us a new Uncle.
Just say Charles. All you gotta do is say Eric in front of Charles, and them niggas got beef. So you don't even get going.
Because this stuff is already in the ether too much with like the reboots off of X-Men. Like you don't need the MCU to rehash all that. Just jump right in. Just be like, she brought over the team, and we already know what the team consists of. And then because of their presence, maybe their presence awakens, and what she's done to the world awakens more mutants that we'll eventually see. You know what I mean? I don't need all
I would, and to Chaos's point, if they go to the negative zone, I would love to see if they involve the snap. Like you could easily say, oh, they had someone. They had someone on the ship that was controlling the flight. He got snapped, and they got flung to the negative zone. And then 5 years later, they come out of it.
I can mess with that.
And 5 years later, they come out of it, and they come back.
That's actually a pretty good one, because that way you don't just have a flight with 4 people on it. You know what I mean? Maybe you have a flight of 10 people. 4 of them are 4, and then you got Doom if you want to keep his origin.
You could easily, but that's the thing. You could easily do it.
That's actually pretty good.
The fifth person was Doom. The fifth person was Doom. Like Doom was the person that got snapped.
Honestly, make it a 6-person crew, because you needed somebody to fly, and then you got the 4, and then you got Doom attached, because by his personality, he would want to go with them.
He's bankrolling. He already got his own country.
So he's like, exactly. So he's like, I want to go. It's my money. I want to go. And then the pilot gets snapped, and I like that idea. That's a good idea.
Because I think the fact that you had so many of them, and you made a point in saying it was the most powerful surge of energy in the galaxy, and you did it a couple of times. You have to almost, and not to be really pedantic, you have to do what the Flash does. Everything in the Flash ties back to the particle accelerator accident. Mm-hmm. Have this next phase, a lot of that tied back to the Infinity.
Because think about it though, right? Because think about it though, not only did that snap release energy, but that snap had to go through you to see if you were going to get snapped or if you were going to stay.
Exactly.
So it can easily mess you up from the inside. It could create mutants essentially if we wanted to play on it. Wanda don't have to do the heavy lifting. It can honestly create mutants.
Chaos, I want you to follow me on this.
Why just Chaos?
And lie. I'm sorry.
Like I'm not here. I know I'm right, but dang.
What if the pilot?
Hey, that goddamn light.
Relax.
What if the pilot was Jameson's son?
You have to introduce Jameson.
Let me finish.
I know what you're saying.
Let me finish. Let me finish.
Need anything? You would have already had to put him in there. It's a good deep.
Hold on, wait. Hold on. Let me finish. He comes back in the ship that they found at the end during the Fantastic Four come back, and when he leaves it on his suit is part of the symbiote.
Nah.
Sony ain't gonna do it.
Sony ain't letting that go.
I'm just saying. I get
what you're saying. It's a deep cut. I get what you say.
There ain't no MCU version of the symbiote that they won't get.
They ain't doing that. They're like, look, we can share. Look, we were losing money with Spider-Man. We can share that. We don't need you, and we can make $800 million with Venom. You ain't touching that.
I'm just saying that'd be a damn dope way to do that.
I got a quick question. I can get a quick question, and then we can end this. You know what I mean? Because we are going long, and I gotta get some sleep. And we end this, or you guys keep talking however you want to do it. But I will say this though: think about the end of Infinity War. Remember when was that Infinity War? Yes, it was Infinity War. When they were in the car and he was about to call Captain Marvel or whatever, all that kind of stuff. And they see the helicopter come down, right? They see the helicopter with no person, and it hits the building and blows up. When Bruce snapped and he brought everybody back, where did those people go?
Oh, that's the biggest plot hole in all this. And the thing is, Far From Home fucked it up. Because they literally established in that film, you get snapped or blipped back to where you were. There are a lot of dead people.
There's a lot of dead people.
No, I think
you're on a plane in 2018. That plane is not there in 2023. You died. You're on a cruise. Mm-hmm. You're in a swimming pool.
Yep. Or you're in a helicopter hovering above New York buildings. You're dead. They didn't think about that.
Because they even show it in Endgame. All those ships in the harbor those ships had people on them, and they just kept going toward the harbor.
And you know what I was thinking about? And this might be messed up, and I just thought about this right now. This might be a messed up way of thinking, and I apologize if I offend anybody, because that is not what I mean to do. COVID is like our literal snap. Mm-hmm. Because if you think about how in Infinity War everything got snapped, in Endgame, Cap and Natasha was talking about, have you seen the waters? The dolphins came back and the air is clean. And if you think about it, when we had to shut down, the world looked beautiful. Mm-hmm. Like we had our own literal snap.
And last thing I'll say, I saw a video that was talking about really Easter you really didn't pay attention to in Infinity Game and Endgame.
Infinity War Endgame, yeah.
In Endgame, it's just hazy outside. Like it's just weird, overcast. Mm-hmm. That's because all that dust is in the atmosphere.
Yes, that's all people.
That's them.
Trying to leave the atmosphere. Yes.
Well, it's not just the dust, but I think it's also the blast of the actual stones being snapped. Like they're saying, it resets the planet almost.
But it's established that it's like that everywhere. Because if you look when they go into Tokyo, it's overcast, but there's no it's
because the planet's almost resetting itself.
You've had almost 5 billion people in dust in the atmosphere.
It's literally trying to. That's crazy, right? That's like because that's all we are. All we are is dust. Like the dust in our area. The dust.
You my boy, Blue.
Y'all irritate me. The dust that we when we're around our homes and we're dusting, that's our skin.
The moment's gone.
That's the best way to end it.
All right.
I put that as a picture, by the way. Dust in the wind.
Thank you for another after show. Thanks for joining us, guys. We appreciate that.
And since you're here watching this, we hope you're like, sharing, and subscribing. Also, find the podcast. What Kind of Black Nerdcast is? Apple, Spotify, Google, Anchor. Any place you listen to a podcast, you can probably find it. If you can't, let us know.
You need to hit the notification bell so you know when we drop new content.
It's like right here.
Please leave us comments on what you would like us to discuss next, even in our after show or in our main podcast. Again, What Kind of Black Nerdcast is this? Everywhere. Follow us on Facebook, IG, Spotify, Apple, Google, anywhere you listen to a podcast. What Kind of Black Nerdcast is this? Is there.
All them shit.
Like, subscribe, comment, hit that bell. We love y'all. Thank you for joining us.
Peace.